Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered serious integumentary injuries that were not your fault? If so, you may be entitled to legal compensation in the form of hundreds, thousands, or millions of dollars.
Here at the Massaro Santi Law Firm, we take cases regarding the skin very seriously. The integumentary system is one of the most important organ systems in the body, serving a variety of important purposes for your well-being and health, including the protection of your body and its organs, waterproofing, excretion of waste by perspiration, providing a place for nerves to sense, making vitamin D, controlling body temperature, and storing substances such as water, fat, and glucose. We want you to receive the most money possible for your lawsuit. Let's not forget, the worse the injury, the more money you and I can receive. Here to help you categorize your injury is Dr. Chin Chin, one of the leading integumentary doctors in the entire northeastern tip of Monroe, Connecticut, with more knowledge than your average high school dropout.
Thank you for the fire introduction, Mr. Santi. So, hello plebeians, I'm Dr. Chin Chin. Please allow me to explain the differences and the severity of integumentary injuries. The two main injuries we will be focusing on today are the different burns of the skin and the rashing of the body, specifically the coveted poison ivy rash. First of all, let's talk about burns and how to know if you've been burnt. You will notice severe irritation of the skin, as well as the singeing of hair on the affected area. Oh crap, that's honey roasted chicken. Much better. Your symptoms will all depend on the severity of the burn. A burn, though, is simply damaging the skin caused by exposure to extreme heat. Typically, this is very painful, and it will leave a long-lasting pain when touched to the skin. This causes breaks in the skin, which in some cases leads to infection by invading microorganisms. If a burn becomes black, as we see in many pictures of burns, it is due to the carbonization of the skin due to a hot flame. We'll discuss the severity of burns later. There are two possible ways to get burned. Getting roasted by a friend so hard that it actually hurts, in which case you should get new friends and a new name. But the second way is to have a hot object touch your skin, damaging it to the specifications we discussed before. Okay. Back to you, Mr. Santi.
12,240,001, 12,240,002, 12,240,003. Oh, hey there. If the second case has occurred to you in the past or is occurring to you now, please call the Burn Emergency Hotline at the bottom of the screen.
Now you know how to detect a burn, but do you know how to categorize the severity of your burn? Of course not. Ha ha ha! So, first of all, we have first-degree burns, which are caused, they're inflammation of the skin. They're generally painful, red, tender, but they're the least severe. And then we get more severe. We go into second-degree burns. They're deeper and redder in color. They are very painful, and generally the skin begins to blister due to how much damage has been done. And moving on to the most severe of all, third-degree burns. The deepest of all the three. It goes through every layer of the skin, killing all the nerves and blood vessels within the skin. So it goes through the dermis and the epidermis. Most third-degree burns are often painless after you've been burnt because they've destroyed all of the nerves in that patch of skin. Third-degree burns are also generally white, and they also have the texture of leather. One very important thing, burns can gradually get worse over time. So one day you might get burnt, and you say, oh, it's not that bad. You wake up the next morning, it evolves from a first-degree burn to a second-degree burn. And second-degree burns can also evolve into third-degree burns without proper treatment. Now, how we categorize burns as doctors is called the rule of nines, where we generally tally up the percentage of the body that has been burnt, and each major section of the body counts as roughly 9%. This is how we determine as doctors how much of your body has been burnt and how serious your injury is. Back to you again, Mr. Santi.
19,131,001, 19,131,002, 19,131,003. Oh, hi there. Thank you, Dr. Chin Chin. Now we're going to go over the steps to follow if you or someone near you is burning. The first step to follow if someone near you is being burnt is to... Oh wait, that guy's actually burning! Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Hello?
Is this the burn hotline? Okay, thank you. You're on the way. The only thing that really matters when someone's being burnt is that you're on the phone with the burn hotline.
Help me!
Shut up.
Now that we've covered burns, let's talk about rashes. For those who aren't aware, a rash is an area of reddening of a person's skin as a result of an allergic reaction or sickness. If you or someone that you know has something that meets those specifications that wasn't caused by you, call the Massaro Santi law firm to receive the money and justice you rightfully deserve. Causes, symptoms, and treatment of rashes vary based on the type of rash, but today we will be focusing on the rash produced by the poison ivy plant, the most common and feared rash on the planet. Now let's send it outside to Dr. Chin Chin to tell us all about this nasty and dangerous plant.
Oh hey, sorry. I was just working on my short game. Although I don't have any poison ivy outside my lair because I exterminated all of it, it can be found in almost every state of America and the majority of Canada. The first step to treating your poison ivy is not to let it touch your skin and make a rash. Identifying poison ivy can be difficult, but it can be easily avoided if you know that poison ivy has 3 leaves with 2 of them perpendicular to each other, like this. During the spring or fall seasons, the leaves can also have a bright red tint compared to a vibrant green in the summer.
Dr. Chin Chin, I think I actually have some in my pocket. No. No. No, that's not it. That's not it. Ah. There it is. I knew I had some. This is what it looks like.
Now let's talk about the cause of the poison ivy rash. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is touch the leaves of the poison ivy plant, scientific name Toxicodendron radicans, or something or someone that has touched the plant while you are allergic to poison ivy, which over 85% of people are. It is the most common allergen reaction in the United States, with more than 50 million people affected each year, giving you a 1 in 6 chance in being one of them.
Dr. Chin Chin, I hate to interrupt again, but does that mean I'm going to get a poison ivy rash on my hand?
There's an 85% chance you will.
Oh, what will it look like if I'm allergic?
I was actually just about to discuss that, the symptoms of a poison ivy allergic reaction. The one good thing about poison ivy is that it only affects the skin, not the rest of your integumentary system, the hair and nails. The reaction tends to take between 4 hours and 2 days to start showing symptoms and can last up to 3 weeks. The 4 main symptoms are redness, like most rashes obviously, extreme itching and discomfort, pus-filled blisters, and swelling of the affected area. Usually a line is formed across the affected area where you were touched or scratched by the leaves. Do you have any of those symptoms?
6.5 hours later.
All of them!
Oh, jeez Louise, that's bad. You need to treat that immediately. The first thing you need to do is to rub lukewarm water on the affected area and the skin surrounding it. You should thoroughly wash all of the clothing that you've worn since the poison ivy has touched you, and you have to make sure not to scratch a rash and to leave the blisters alone. That may cause infection. Apply lotion and cover the rash with a cool compress. Also, consider using antihistamines to stop the itching. Good luck. Good job, Mr. Sandy. And now back to you for the conclusion.
Dr. Chin Chin, what brand of antihistamine should I use?
Someone call an ambulance!